Thank you so much, Ian. That was awesome. Awesome. It's always a pleasure and a treat to have you in this festival. This is like your what, your 6th year participating. Wow.
I lost it.
It's yeah, exactly. Well, I know Akila is shining down on the both of us, and I'm sorry we lost her to such an ugly disease as cancer. But she made sure she didn't leave me alone in this venture by bringing beautiful souls like you into my acquaintance and my life, and I'm so glad I could to think of you as a friend, and yeah, and so you have truly, truly blessed us with today. I want you to enjoy the rest of the day, knowing that you definitely did something so wonderful for the World Alliance of Indigenous Peoples. And I really appreciate it. Was that your dog barking in the background earlier? Possibly. Well, listen, he may be an old fellow, but it might be the neighbor. Yeah. Well, you definitely give him a pat on the head for us. I know he's an old timer, but I know what man's best friend is all about. So we have to say hi to him as well. All righty. Have a good one. Yep. Peace and blessings. Thank you. It's Tiffany Trueblood. Can you come back on camera as well? Awesome, awesome. Hi, how's it going?
It's
Can you believe
going.
Ian?
Going
It
good.
is so much a pleasure to have him, correct?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And you, what was your first take when you met Ian or saw Ian?
Oh, my mouth dropped open. Like, um, I just wasn't expecting to see a one-man band. Literally, it caught me off guard in a great way. I was just walking through the yard, because I think I came in on the second annual, and so it was about 5 years ago when I met Ian. Um,
Right,
Such a pleasure to meet him. He's so kind and sweet and professional. And when I saw him performing, I think I was just walking through the grass and then I just turned my head like, what? He's playing five
right,
instruments and singing, or, I'm like, wow, he literally is a one-man band. So I literally stopped what I was doing and just watched his entire performance. And I've even ran into him and walking downtown in Lancaster when he was performing just kind of downtown, like for First Fridays. And I'm like, oh, I know
yeah,
him. That's Ian. So
right,
he's
exactly.
really a great guy. And it's just been a pleasure knowing him and networking with him. So, yeah.
Right. I feel the same way. I know that we had spoken over the phone, and when I mentioned that he would be playing, you were like, "Oh, he's very, very interesting." And I was like, "Wow, you wonder about the word interesting." So, and then when I saw him play, I said, "Oh, I get it. There's an engaging that you do because I guess you're acknowledging his musicality. You
Absolutely.
can't deny it. You can't deny it. So it's how some people say, rub your stomach and pat your head at the same time, and how that's a challenge. So could you imagine playing all the different instruments like you said and
Yeah.
singing? Yeah,
Mhm.
it's absolutely remarkable. And the other thing is just that his spirit is just so wonderful. But I'll tell you, I had a moment with him at the last festival. I think we were actually shutting down, closing out the event. And all of a sudden, I think they were playing like maybe like a Bob Marley song. And he picks up his violin and just starts jamming to Bob Marley. And I said, oh my gosh, it's like he is just so versatile to, reggae and then just the Middle Eastern music, and then, the European folk music. It's just truly, truly an experience and just a pleasure to see. So, but I just want to talk a little bit. Well, you know what? I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit about just the grassroots aspect of, um, of what we do, and just from your perspective of how important it is for organizations like ours to receive the support from the community that it needs.
Okay. Well, just, from my perspective, when it comes to communities that, from our knowledge, don't really have um, engaging events that will include everyone, especially the younger people, I feel that it's very important what we are doing. Our efforts are to, of course, bring the grassroots community of York, Pennsylvania together, because that's where Dr. Akila Karima was born. And so that holds a special place in her heart. And as her dear friends that she passed a festival on to, just having us as a resource to bring something beautiful to the grassroots community, to get them involved, to get them, give them something to look forward to on an annual basis, I feel is very important, because when you bring different cultures together, you get to become more well-rounded as an individual. You get to learn about different cultures, and that alone can just really open you up to different things in your own life that you just didn't have access to before. Because let's say someone from East India might show up at the festival, meet someone from South Africa, but they're both living in America, and they exchange information, and there you have it. You have a great connection that happened, but had they not come to that festival, they may not have ever met each other. So I feel like it's a great networking tool for the young people in the community. Something just, you know, again, something for them to look forward to on an annual basis and become involved in, and express their talents and express themselves, their individuality and their culture.
Right, exactly, exactly. And it's you know, it's so funny, you know, Akil and I, our businesses are different, but yet and then somehow we're connected. And I think that's why she was bringing Softcore up under the World Alliance umbrella, because we were a grassroots organization. She was you know, her organization was a grassroots organization. So we absolutely understood what that meant. And you know what I mean, as far as um, you know how they say you can't really judge a person or anything until you walk the mile in each other's shoes. Where here it is, we were walking in each other's shoes. And so with that said, we understood a lot about what we were, you know, trying to achieve, but also the fact that she was reaching out to all indigenous communities and all cultural and fine arts communities, you know. And so we've have fine arts backgrounds, right? So we know that aspect of it too, even though we focus on the cultural you know, cultural arts and indigenous arts. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm going to ask if Anjulie is available. I think I just saw her come on as well. But hi, Anjulie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So you know Tiffany Trueblood, right? Our vice
Yes.
president.
Yes.
And so we're here. We're grateful that you were able to join us today. And so I'm just gonna, I guess, just say a little bit about Anjulie. Anjulie is a very, very special friend and dear person to me. I don't know whether to call her a daughter or little sister or what. Sometimes when we're walking in the park and,
Yeah.
you know, getting our exercise in, she's more like sister. And then other times I feel like more like a mom, you know,
Yeah.
because I care about everything she does, and I want to wish her the absolutely best in achieving her medical profession. And but aside from that, she has sang with the Book of Ruth, which is a World Alliance production. She has assisted with everything from, you know, watching the door as far as host, you know, ushering people in, taking tickets, helping in any way that she can. She usually shows up on a scene and says, what do you need me to do? So I appreciate her. I appreciate her talents. And she actually was a student of mine at one point in a
Yeah.
poetry workshop. So I brought her on today. She's of Haitian descent. And I just brought her on today to share some of her work with you guys, and to also honor a person with her candle, and just give a few comments on what this event means to her, and maybe what the World Alliance also means. So I'm going to let you take over right now, and we'll see you once you get done. All righty.
Okay. All right. So hello, everyone. So I come bearing two short poems written in the pain of 2016. I'm thankful to Sadanyah for encouraging me to share these pieces, as it afforded me the opportunity to just see how far I've come in the last 4 years. My first piece is called You Took My Breath Away. You took my breath away like I'm standing at the top of a waterfall, hesitant to jump, then I slip, and without consent, I'm falling into the angriest body of water. But I'm not afraid, because when you took my breath away, you took my fear away with it. You took my breath away when I saw you for the first time and saw myself. And without consent, I'm falling deep into your still crashing waters. But I'm not afraid, because when you took my breath away, you took my fear away with it. You took my breath away like I asked you to. You took my breath away like it didn't even belong to me. You took my breath away, and I didn't even know I could live without it. You took my breath away when you walked away. I slipped without consent into unknown waters, and I'm terrified, because when you took my breath away, you gave me my fear back. You took my breath away like I'm standing at the top of a waterfall, hesitant to jump, then I slip, and without consent, I'm falling into the angriest body of water, and I'm terrified, because when you took my breath away, you took my trust away with it. Thank you. So just to give you just like a little bit, a tidbit of some knowledge. So, I mean, it should be of no surprise. This piece tells a story as old as time, heartbreak. I had never understood, you know, that movie, that Whitney Houston movie. Well, you know, it was a lot more people than Whitney Houston, but Waiting to Exhale. I never understood that phrase until that experience. And so my next piece speaks to the ways in which I dealt with that pain. It's called Chocolatey Fudge Truffles. No one understands me like the bottom of this bowl, so I dig through chocolatey fudge truffles, ribbons of raspberry, and pure, cool white chocolate until the pain doesn't feel like knives, but like a race to the bottom, to victory, to sweet release. I'm high, I'm free, for now. So I wrote this piece during a time of self-reflection. Honestly, it was a pretty low point in my life. I had just discovered the white chocolate raspberry truffle flavor of one of my favorite ice cream brands. No free advertising, so I'm not going to tell you what brand. And I was thinking how it wasn't just the medley of flavors, but it was the euphoria of each bite and how good it felt, but also how fleeting that moment was. So this piece is about comfort eating, and we all do it to an extent, right? So I want to set the scene for you, and I want you all to just picture this. Imagine a long day at work, or honestly, a long day of being an active member of your family or your community, whether that be your school, your neighborhood, or your church. Imagine coming home after that long day, changing into your PJs, and before you make it to the couch, you decide to make a pit stop in the kitchen and fix yourself a bowl of ice cream. You then continue your journey to the couch to catch up on your favorite show, or to end the day with football while eating that bowl of your favorite ice cream. Only this day is different. You hear someone struggling to get into your apartment, so you walk over to figure out what's going on, and before you can understand, boom, 2 shots to your chest. In Dallas, Texas, on the night of September 6, 2018, Botham Shem Jean was fatally shot by an off-duty police officer who lived on the floor directly under Jean's apartment. The officer alleged she thought he was an intruder in her apartment, and it was only after the shooting him she realized it was she who was in the wrong apartment. Her first call after the shooting, her former partner. At age 26, Botham Jean was an accountant at the international auditing firm PricewaterhouseCoopers, with aspirations of taking his talent back to St. Lucia, where he emigrated from, to become its prime minister. He was an active member of his church. He was well loved by his family and friends. By all accounts, he did everything right. And instead of becoming St. Lucia's prime minister, he is currently buried there. Botham's life mattered. If it lights up.
Oh, thank you, Anjulie. That was beautiful. Thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate that piece. I really, really appreciate all your different talents. You're just a remarkable young lady. And so, you know, just in a nutshell, just summarize what does this event mean to you?
So it means a lot to me. I think that a lot of times when, well, let me just say that I understand that World Alliance of Indigenous People is about all Indigenous people, whether that be Asia, whether that be America, Africa, all Indigenous people. And I love that it represents not, because a lot of times we feel like we need to hide what makes us different. And I feel that this alliance encourages us to use what makes us different to connect to one another. And that's really what I love about this organization. And I also love the exposure that it allots to, and of course, understanding that this is about all Indigenous people, but I really appreciate the exposure that it allots to Native people to America. And so, yeah, so I really, like, once I heard what, the vision, I was like, just let me sign right up. Whatever I can do to help, I'm gonna do. And I do really think it's amazing that the festival, the culture festival Expo, is still being continued, because it's an important mission. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you so much. And, we look forward to us, again, inviting you back for next year. So put us right on the calendar, because we will, and hopefully we'll be able to do it at Kiwanis Lake Park. But, if not, we have to find a way to stay connected, right? So we'll be right back here. Yes. If this country doesn't open up, we'll be right back here, better than before.
Yes. And I can bring some more some Haitian culture to the festival next time.
Absolutely. We look forward to it. So at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and release you back into the Facebook world. Okay. Hopefully you'll be over there, streaming and commenting. And so we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay. Bye, everyone.
All righty. Thank you. All right. So we're going to bring in Perfect Strangers. Perfect Strangers is a group that's based in Long Island, New York. And I will tell you that I met Bob Brantley and Claire, the flute player. She's a flute player. I met Bob first, and they are, and I want to say, like an acoustic group. They have been performing for years all over Long Island, and often you can go out to the vineyards out in Suffolk County and catch them playing there. You can also catch them playing all over, I guess, Nassau County as well, and different, like they have a cafe that's called the Starving Artist Cafe. You can catch them there sometimes. But I want to say they have that classic sound, and they're a very unique group in what they bring to the table. We met Bob possibly, I don't know if it's been about 5 years now. He participated in our Legend Showcase, which is a toy drive, and it it we've had them all over Long Island. They take place from anywhere from, a church environment. We've had one in, for the Bryant Public Library. We had a legend showcase and toy drive there, Chi restaurant, just all over Long Island. And what happens is a lot of singers come and they get toy donations, and we actually take them up to the hospitals where we can carol with the kids and distribute toys. And it's such a wonderful time for us. What we do is a lot of times we have excess when we go to the hospital. So we'll just leave all the toys that we collect. And this way, the hospital can utilize the toys throughout the year because kids are coming in and out. But we started doing that basically because my son was, had kidney disease, and he was in the hospital during Christmas, and he, it was a difficult time because he didn't get released until Christmas Eve. And what wound up happening is all of a sudden, as a parent, you get to that moment and your child is being released from the hospital, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't do any shopping for Christmas or anything like that. But we were so blessed because we had, from the kindness of strangers, they had bought so many toys to him visiting during Christmas. And I think the New York Jets came in at one point. Hofstra University, a team from Hofstra University came, and they gifted him with so much toys. I really didn't have to do any shopping. And so I said to myself, if he ever makes it through and is not, makes it through, and we get through that moment, that we were going to remember the kindness of strangers and make sure that we go back and pay back in the same way. So we have been doing it for probably about a decade now, of going up to the hospital during Christmas. And Bob Blatchley and Perfect Strangers are one of the groups that, that always participates whenever they're not gigging. And so we just appreciate their talents, and we appreciate their gifts. And we'll also be hearing from Lewis Anderson as well. So with that said, I'm going to, be inviting them onto the screen, and then we will definitely hear from them very soon. So, but before we do, I just want to share a poem with you and talk to you about who I'm dedicating my participation in this festival to. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm a writer. My background is I hold my master's degree in creative writing with the focus of poetry. And so I have been writing since I was just forever. And my first poem at the age of 8, I was published, which was, quite a shock and a blessing at the same time. So that's, how long I've been writing, and, how long I've been engaged in the meaning and the power of words. So I'm going to share this poem with you, and I'm actually going to just read it from my book. It's called Boots, and the poem is called Knowledge. So when I wrote this poem, I basically was asked if I could if I can come back as an inanimate thing, what I would actually, become. And so I thought about the question, and I thought I would like to come back as a book. So, and that, with that said, not just any book, a powerful book, a book probably like the Bible or the Quran, and something like that. And so the poem is called Knowledge, and it goes like this. A book has no meaning unless you open it. It has no beginning or end unless you read what's between the cover and back. A book has no purpose if no one plants in it moments of conflict, moments of confusion, fears, concerns, love, dreams, and ambitions that are watered, nurtured, and guided to a conclusion well anticipated. If I were a book, what would I look like? What would I say? What story would I tell? What would be my purpose? My cover would be made of leather, aged and brown, with many long lifelines, lines which represent an odyssey through countries, across seas, from tongue to hand. I'd have a latch and lock along my foredge. Only those who carry the key of David would part my pages. Inked papyrus, where fragile truths would seduce minds. My title, Jember, and written by Cain, would stretch across my weathered face. I speak of a holy people, a dark people, who live by more than just 10 commandments, and whose love and respect for others were simply not things others had to learn, but already created in the design of things, not to be disengaged from, upsetting the balance of life. Black ink would run up and down my pages, singing of rivers and lakes that witnessed the births of the great emperors of the Aksum and Zagwe dynasties. I speak about myrrh trees, elephant trunks, incense, gold, and exotic animals, and Greek philosophers clothed in fine garments marching in pilgrimage to hear ancient tales of the beginning, seeking righteousness and spiritual and intellectual elevation before the revelation. I teach others to be a light to darkness through stories which would weave dark tales into spirits that rise into the air like exotic birds. I take people on a journey of empowerment that will become etched on their souls, forming a fine metal armor, bendable but not breakable. I teach others to dance until black smoke rose from their feet and the earth shook from the rhythm of unity. I be written in the old language, a tongue that Yah placed on the breastplate of man, the one true language of angels, whose songs of praise are drowned out by political drama. I be read by orators like Paul Robeson, James Earl Jones, and Martin Luther King Jr., whose voices could crumble cities fortified by marble. Spiritual leaders, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, the Dalai Lama, and Pope John Paul II would refer to me in their teachings. I be carried by intellectuals like Einstein, Malcolm X, Ben Franklin, George Washington Carver Jr., and Steve Jobs. Harriet Tubman, a woman who stole freedom, was still me. And one day, when the need for me died, Israel would bury me with the bones of Joseph. So I just wanted to share that poem. It's called Knowledge, and it's in my work, a selection of poems called Boots. And I would like to dedicate that piece to my uncle, Willie Clarence Carlisle, who was shot and paralyzed in the 60s by cops wrongfully. He was totally innocent and vindicated, and his lawyers went to court and proved him innocent beyond a shadow of a doubt. He was shot in Long Island, New York by Nassau County cops, and he wasn't from New York, so he was not even in the city in Long Island, in the city of Westbury. He didn't live there during the time when I guess they called themselves apprehending a suspect. He just wasn't from the area, so he had just moved there and totally was not involved in any of the stuff that went down. It was a thing where he stopped to make a phone call and was approached by undercover cops dressed as women who invaded his space and then shot and paralyzed him in his back. So today I light a candle for him, Willie Clarence Carlisle, in his memory. And I just thank him for all, even after he was paralyzed, for all the wonderful memories he gave me at Easter time and throughout my childhood. And he did, you know, survive the incident, but as a paraplegic, they don't live that long. And so he passed away. And I just, I'm so proud of him because even after the incident, he became a advocate for the paraplegic community. So I light my candle. For the first candle is for my uncle, Willie Clarence Carlisle. I don't know if you could see it. And you continue blessings and prayers. I always pray for my family because it was a huge loss. And I pray for all the other victims of police brutality and all the victims of COVID-19. With that said, I am going to ask Bob Blatchley to come to the stage and to unmute if he can hear me. And Lewis Anderson, I would like you to get ready. So we should have them with us shortly. Now I hope you guys enjoyed my poem, Boots from Boots. And I will try to squeeze one more in before the evening is over. Oh, hi, Lewis, how are you? You're muted. Hi, how are you?
I'm muted.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes,
How you
I
doing?
can.
Enjoyed your
I'm
poem.
good. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. Hi, hello, everyone. So, Lewis Anderson. Lewis, you're originally from New York, correct?
Yes, I am. Brooklyn, New York.
All right, all right. Well, listen, I'm gonna allow you to, and there's Bob Blatchley. Hi, how are you?
We had to figure this out.
Okay,
Yes,
so
we
hold on
become
for
more tech savvy.
yeah, hold on for 1 second. So I just wanted to bring you guys in to tell you. So we're gonna start with Bob Blatchley, Lewis, okay? But I just wanted
Okay.
to bring you in, and right after they get done playing, we're gonna hear something for you. So you guys be ready. We're gonna give you a you know, a text message, but they're up first, okay?
Gotcha.
And all righty. So, but y'all look good down in Texas, and I just wanted to say a quick hi.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Howdy.
All right. And so as soon as they finish, you'll be up, okay?
All right.
All righty. See you guys in a little bit. I'll put you back in the green room where you guys can relax a little bit. All right, Bob. How's it going?
Great, how are you?
We're good. We're good. So where are you guys at right now?
We are in Claire's living room, and we're looking forward to doing a few songs here and giving you a little rundown of what we're going to do. Is 3 songs good? Does that work for you?
That absolutely works for us. So thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. This is Perfect Strangers, and they're one of Long Island's finest groups there is.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Okay, so my name is Bob Blatchley. This is Claire Kolensky on flute, my partner. So this first song that we're going to play, we wrote this after performing at a charitable high-end fundraiser in Manhattan, and it kind of speaks to the inequity where they're raising lots and lots of dollars up top on the rooftop, and down on the street there are still homeless people. So I don't know what the answer is, but it just kind of struck me the disparity between the two. This song is called Rooftop Serenade. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Smell the drippiest of town and it fragrance. Sleep back is smelling rocks and spring fragrance. And who could differentiate the liquor? The frontier mover sweat and shiver, rising from the posturing and shelter. When self-importance doesn't seem to matter, on to the rooftop serenade, blood runs from a razor blade, the skyline breaks, treetops fade, the baker's cup is finally filling up to the rooftop serenade, the distant stars illuminate the radiance of the weary masquerade they call the rooftop serenade. Up to the rooftop serenade, up to the rooftop serenade, up to the rooftop serenade, up to the rooftop serenade. So we're going to do a tune right now. This tune is about forgiveness, and it is called Serenity Today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Love is patient, love is kind. Many years I didn't mind, praying for a better way. I have serenity today. Love is simple as a rule. You were fearful, I was cruel. Still I fell to let you in, where you end and I begin. 'Cause we deny and we deceive, in the tangled web we weave. How many pardons do we get, from resentment to regret? Past is painful, don't you know? So I choose to let it go. Wisdom by another name. Will tomorrow be the same? 'Cause we deny and we deceive, in the tangled web we weave. How many chances do we earn? As many lessons as we learn. Love is patient, love is kind. Love is always on my mind. Now I embrace a better way. I have serenity today. I embrace a better way. I have serenity today. Thank you. And our last number we're going to do this one for our friend Sadanyah, because she likes this very much, and we've played it at some of her events, and hope you guys enjoy this classic by the Temptations. The day I'll always remember, oh yes I will. 'Cause that was the day my daddy died. I never got a chance to see, I never heard nothing but bad things about him. Mama, I'm depending on you to know the truth. Mama just hung her head and said, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his head was his home. He died, all that left us was a rolling. Hey, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his head was his home. He died, all that left us was a rolling. Mama was best took on around town, said that Papa had the outside children and another wife, and that ain't right. Well, that ain't right. Hey, doing some stuff on preaching, talking about Savior songs all the time. We've been doing it, still in the name of the Lord. Mama just hung her head and said, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. He died, all that left us was a rolling. Hey, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. He died, all that left us was a rolling. Mama to the great folks say the mama would beg bar and steal to play his dues. Hey mama, see but never's much on thinking. That was the time chasing wind on the drinking. Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth. Mama just hung her head and said, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. He died, all that left us was a rolling. Hey, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. He died, all that left us was a rolling. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. He died, all that left us. He died, all that left us. He died, all he left us was alone.
Awesome.
Thank you. God bless, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Perfect Strangers. You guys are the best.
Thank you, thank you, Sadanyah.
Yes. So we'll see you soon, okay?
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for including us. Thank
And I
you so
loved
much.
your poem. It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. So guys, just to give you just a quick thing before they walk off. So Bob Lashley and Claire Kolinsky and Guy Pezzulo, is that how I pronounce it?
Yes.
Yes, they actually make up Perfect Strangers. And so basically they have yummy arrangements of classic rock music. But however, as we have seen right now, this group can play anything, absolutely anything. And so we just want to thank them today one more time. And you guys enjoy New York. For me, I'll be back soon.
Thank you very much, Sadanyah. Great to see you.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
All righty, you too. All right. Thank you so much for that, Bob and Claire. You guys are just absolutely awesome. It's always a pleasure to have you in the house, and we're always in for a treat. And yes, that was my favorite. Papa was a Rolling Stone, Temptations. So we're going to bring Lewis Anderson back. And again, Lewis is out in Texas. And we just appreciate Lewis for hanging in there with us and being patient. He's came in at, towards the end of our production. And sometimes, it's one of those things where, you're waiting and everything, but he's been patient and a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant artist and musician and songwriter. And he is a school teacher. So a choir director, I believe, for
Yes.
junior high school and high school, right?
Well, right now I'm doing middle school right now.
Oh, you're doing middle school right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can tell you my background of when I met Lewis. I don't know if it was down at Oasis in Baldwin, New York, but I did come to one of your one of your shows, and you did a tribute to Luther Vandross. And
Yes.
when I heard, like not too many people can do Luther like Luther, but you did Luther and then you added Louis Anderson to the Luther.
Oh, well, thank
So it
you.
was absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to turn everything over to you. And if you don't mind, just letting us know who you're dedicating your performance to. And hi, ladies in the background. You look beautiful in your blue and black.
Hi,
Yes.
thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sadanyah. Yes, I'm dedicating our performance today to Tatiana Jefferson. Tatiana Jefferson was a 28-year-old woman who was fatally shot in her home by a police officer in Fort Worth on October 12th, 2019. Police arrived at her home after a neighbor called a non-emergency number stating that Jefferson's front door was open. Police body camera footage showed that when she came to her window to observe the police outside her home, Officer Aaron Dean shot her through the window and killed her. Police stated they found a handgun near her body, which according to her 8-year-old nephew, she was pointing toward a window before being shot. On October 14, 2019, Dean resigned from the Fort Worth Police Department and was arrested on a murder charge. So this performance today will be dedicated to Tatiana Jefferson. I'm lighting a candle for Tatiana Jefferson.
Take your time, Doc. You're gonna have to hold it for a few minutes.
Oh.
It's that fan. We're gonna blame that on it. AC behind us. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Today we light a candle for Tatiana Jefferson. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we never fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, day, or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list, 'cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember the day when I was scared to touch you. How I spent my day dreaming, planning how to say I love you. You must have known that I had feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you opened up your heart and you told me, come in, oh my love. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. I just don't wanna stop. Oh my love, a million days in your arms is never too much. I just don't want.
Never too much, never too much, never too much, never too much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Part two. Woke up today, looked at the picture just to get me started. I called you up, but you were there, and I was broken hearted. Hung up the phone, can't be too late. The boss is so demanding. Open the door up and the mind so right that you were standing. Who needs to go up with the hustle for another town? I'd rather be with you, 'cause you make my heart scream and holler. Love is a gamble, and I'm so glad that I can win. We come a long way, and yet this is only the beginning. Oh my love,
Oh my love, ooh wee baby.
that kisses from you is never too
Never too much, never
much.
too much, never too much.
I just don't wanna stop. And oh my
Oh
love,
my love, ooh wee baby.
million days in your arms is never too
Never too much, never
much.
too much, never too much.
I just don't wanna stop. And oh my
Oh my
love,
love, ooh wee baby.
that kisses from you is never too
Never too much, never
much.
too much, never too much.
I just don't wanna stop. And oh my
Oh my
love,
love, ooh wee baby.
million days in your arms is never too
Never too much,
much.
never too much, never too much.
I just don't wanna
Stop.
All right. Thank you so very much. I just want to take a little time to say hello to everybody. And right now, also, I want to introduce you to the folks that's helping me out with this, making this sound the way it sounds. To my right, we have Mr. on bass, Mr. Nero Foster. I don't know if you can see him, but he's playing bass.
All
I'm
right.
good. I'm good.
And we have on guitar, Mr. Jeff Holly.
Yeah.
All right, all right. We have on the pots and pans, Mr. Andre Cornelius, our drummer.
All right.
Okay, and to my left, I have Mr. Artist Harrison.
All right.
We call him Anthony Hamilton. Yep. And we got Lucretia Holly. This is Mrs. Holly, as
Yeah.
in Jeff's wife. Forgot the man. And standing next to me, to my left, is my right hand, my boo, my baby, my wife of 11 years, 10, 12, 13 months, some more days.
Okay.
That's
good.
Lisa
That's good.
Anderson.
Hi there.
So today we want to do some songs. I want to try to do some songs with some uplifting messages, since the theme of our function is bringing attention to police brutality and what is lacking right now in this country. And I think it's just love. So we want to talk to the power. We want to sing to the power of love. When I say goodbye It is never for long, 'cause I know our love still lives on. And it will be again exactly like it was. 'Cause I believe in the power of love. I can feel the power. In this love, I can always tell. Love for me is the best thing out. It's something that I know so well. Hold me close every minute of every hour. Feel the power of love. Hold me tighter, take me higher. Feel the fire of the power of love. You just know that your feeling show was locked up inside. When your senses start to overload, it's something that you should never hide. You got to believe in love, the feeling that next to none can't stop until we all walk with the power of love. Tell everyone to try. I promise you'll reach the sky. Just as you can't deny it's the power of love. Just close your eyes and you can feel it coming straight from above. It is the power of love. You can't deny it. Don't even try it. Let the feeling sweep you off your feet. You got to believe in love. Feeling that next to love. Can't stop until we all walk with the power of love. Everyone should try. Promise you'll reach the sky. Just can't deny the power of love. So let's stand up and you can hear it. The symphony of love, it is the power of love. So glad you found it. There's no way around it. Let the feeling sweep you off your feet. You got to believe in love. Feeling that next to love. Can't stop until we all walk with the power of love. Everyone to try. Promise you'll reach the sky. Something you can't deny. Of the power of love. When we walk down the street, we don't care We got love, the power, yeah, the creative power of living more. Yeah. We got love, the power, and together we can fall. We got love, power, yeah, yeah. It's the greatest power of them all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We got love, power, and together we can fall. We never fall. We got love, power. It's the greatest power of them all. Hey, hey, hey. We got love, power, and together we can fall. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We know that love's in need of love today. Where everything's going on, we seem to have forgotten that all we need is love. Good morning or evening, friend. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster. Could change your joy and laughter, tears and pain. Don't you know love is in need of love today? Oh, don't delay. Send yours is right away. Oh, hey, all around, breaking great hearts. Oh, stop in me before it goes too far. Na, 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 na. The force of evil man to make you its possession, and it will if you let it destroy everybody. Yeah. We all must take precautionary measures. If peace and love you treasure, then hear me when I say, oh, love in need, love today. Oh, don't delay. Send yours in right away. Oh, hey, brave heart.
Heart.
Oh, stop. If we before we go too far. Help us sing, you know, love is in need of love today. Come on, sing with us, y'all. Oh, don't delay. Send yours in right away. Oh, hey, go around, breaking hearts. Oh, stop, if please, before we go too far. Oh, you know love, love today. Oh, don't delay. Send yours in. Oh, you know that hey, go around, breaking great hearts. Oh, stop, if you please, before we go too far. Love's in need of love today. And what we need to do for that to happen, we have to come together. We got to look past race, look beyond color, open our arms and embrace each other, open our hearts and let God in. And don't give in to sin. We got to come together. God is not the author of confusion. Take another look at what we're doing to each other. His greatest command is that we show love, unconditional love for each other. We gotta look past race, look beyond color, open our arms, embrace each other, open our hearts, let God in, and don't give in to sin. We got to come together, put our differences aside. We got to come together. We all have got to swallow our pride. We got to come together. We're running out of time. Let's come together. A house divided against itself won't stand. We got to understand that we're sisters and brothers. Help me out, y'all. We gotta look past. We gotta look past race. Look beyond color. Open our arms and embrace each other. Open our hearts. Let God in and don't give in to sin. We got to come together. Our differences aside. We got to come together. All that got to swallow our pride. We got to come together. We're running out of time. Let's come together. A house divided against itself won't stand. We got to understand that we're sisters and brothers. We gotta look past. We gotta look past race. Look beyond color. Open our arms and embrace each other. Open our hearts pride. We got to come
together.
all that got to swallow our pride. We got to come
together.
We're running out of time.
Let's come together.
Whoa, we got to
Come together.
our differences aside. We got to
Come together.
We all have got to swallow our pride. We got to
Come together.
We're running out of time.
Let's come together.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now listen, if you get depressed sometimes and you feel kind of down, you got to remember, hold on, change is coming. I'm gonna ask y'all if y'all can see me, if y'all can wave a little bit and bounce a little bit. Get your bounce on, y'all. Are y'all bouncing? I see you bouncing. Listen. Yesterday, a man stepped to me. He said, how can you smile when your world is crumbling down? I said, here's my seat. When I want to cry, I take a look around and I see that I'm getting by. And I hold on.
Hold on.
Change is coming.
Change is coming.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Don't you worry.
Don't worry about it.
Hold on.
Hold on.
You can make it.
You can make it.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Everything will be all right. Some people like to worry. Some people like to cry. Some people like to run away from the pain inside. Well, that's your business. Do whatever you want to do. You know what? If it don't work out, here's what you gotta do. You gotta hold on.
Hold on.
Change is coming.
Change is coming.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Don't you worry.
Worry about it.
Hold on.
Hold on.
You can make it. Hold on.
Hold on.
Everything
will be alright.
when the troubles in life weigh you down. Keep your head up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For the love you see is hard to find. Don't give up. Don't be afraid. Keep your head up and say, hold on.
Hold on.
Change is coming.
Change is coming.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Don't you worry.
Worry about it.
Say, hold on.
Hold on.
You can make it.
Make it.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Everything.
will be alright.
Hold on. Change is coming. Hold on. Don't you worry.
Worry about it.
Say, hold on.
Hold on.
You can make it.
Make it.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Everything.
will be
Now listen.
alright.
If you get, but you can't remember that, I got a little tune I want to teach you that you can just take a little habit tune and take you through the day and help you push your troubles away. And it goes something like this. Help me, y'all. La la
La la.
la la
La
la la
la.
la 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 Change is coming. Hold on. Don't you worry. Hold on. You can make it. Hold on. Everything. Come on, everybody. Hold on. Change is coming. everything will be all right. All right, thank you so much. And if you hold on, you know it's going to be a lovely day.
Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, the sunlight hurts my eyes. Something without warning, the bed's heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. I just want to look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. I just want to look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. A lovely when the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. I just want to look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. A lovely day. Lovely day, y'all. We hope you enjoyed what you heard. We just want to thank you all for being such a lovely audience. We got one more message for you, and we're going to be out of your way. Is that all right, Miss Lady?
That is all right.
All right. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have faith, you need to borrow. No one can feel those of the need that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. Might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. However you carry on. Oh, it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'll fight up the road. I'll share your load. If you just call me when you need a friend, when you need a friend, when you need a friend, oh, just call. You got my number. When you need a friend, when you need a friend, you gotta do is call. When you need a call, when you need a friend, dial my number. When you need a friend, oh, call me, call. So call me, call. When you need, call me, call me.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much,
very
Mr.
much.
Anderson. That was awesome. Awesome.
Thank
And
you.
thank you to your band and your background singers. I really appreciate you guys being a part of this festival. And to my queen that was holding up that candle, thank you so much. Thank you. That means a lot to
You're
so many
welcome.
families, and definitely to myself and to my family as well. You guys are awesome in your fears, and what a beautiful addition to this festival. And so I don't know how it is down there in Texas, you
Right.
know, but I heard it gets pretty hot in Texas.
Yeah, yeah. We're talking 100-degree weather straight.
Oh my goodness. Well, y'all, stay hydrated
Okay.
and
Yes.
stay cool. And we will definitely talk soon. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thank
Have
you
a
so very much.
blessed,
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes,
oh,
thank
my
you.
pleasure, my
Hopefully, this won't be
pleasure.
the last time.
No, it will not be the last time. So, get your calendars ready. I'll be
Oh,
calling.
all right. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
All
Thank you.
righty. Take
Thank you
it
so much.
easy. Peace and blessings.
Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Well, that was Mr. Lewis Anderson. And so you guys can see why he's just such a special talent and friend. And I've known him for years, and it just doesn't change as far as with his musicality and what he brings to the table in regards to just knowing how to deliver a message in a song and just to engage the audience. So we definitely hope that that you really got something out of his performance today. We will be Denise Brantley will be joining us soon, and she is also a very dear friend. Oh, there she is right there. Hi, Denise. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. So, what's happening in Long Island, New York? I miss you guys.
Yeah, we miss you too. Miss you
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So, well, Denise Brantley, she's a very, I don't know, just she's super smart. That's number one. Super
Okay.
modest, as you can see. That's number two. But also very extremely talented. But I think my favorite, uh, I guess, aspect of our friendship is that once in a while we go and to like a Mediterranean restaurant, our favorite spot on Post Avenue in
Yes.
Westbury,
Yes.
and dine well. But it's also the conversations that we always have. They're always stimulating, and I feel that when you have a circle of friends, you need good conversation. You need to be able
Absolutely.
to talk things through with people and state what's on your mind and listen to different perspectives. And I can always go to Denise Brantley for that.
Oh,
So I
thank you.
appreciate you for picking up the phone almost every time I call, if not right away, but getting back to me, knowing that it's going to be a conversation. With that said, I am going to just tell you a little bit about Denise. Denise is a doctor of audiology, so I should be introducing her as Dr. Denise Brantley. She is the first lady of the Corona Church. So, what is the name of the church exactly? Because I don't want to mess it up.
It's Corona Congregational Church in Corona,
Okay.
Queens.
Okay. So, she's the first lady of that church. Her husband, Reverend Judge Brantley, is, I guess the senior pastor there.
Yes.
And I have known them now for, a few years now. It might be like between 6 and 10 years,
Hmm.
but it feels like I've known them all my life. So, I definitely appreciate the both of you. She also sings, and I call her, she sings with the Book of Ruth, actually, my ensemble that we put on concerts for the World Alliance of Indigenous Peoples. And she brings the jazz flair to the group. So I can always count on her for, I don't know, for doing God Bless the Child, or, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, somebody, she's got it covered. So with that said, though, today she's just coming in with wisdom and knowledge, and with a spoken word. So I'm just going to release the stage to her and allow her to speak to you and get to know you guys a little bit better.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sadanyah, for the invitation. I really appreciate the opportunity to be before you this evening. Um, I think that it is so important that we continue to lift up the names and lift up the spirits of those who have succumbed to violence, either at the hands of police or just street violence. And this evening, I'll be lifting up the name and the spirit of Shatavia Walls. Now, this young woman is someone that I think we could all relate to. During this summer of the pandemic, most of us endured a nightly barrage of fireworks in our respective neighborhoods, and we wondered why or when was it going to stop. And setting off illegal fireworks is a nonviolent act, Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams said, urging residents to go talk to the young people or the people on your block who are using fireworks instead of calling 911 or 311. He was trying to promote a community response rather than run the risk of escalating things, become even greater friction between community and police. Shatavia Walls, a young woman of age 33, took his advice to heart, but unfortunately she paid with her life. It appears that when a group of young men set off fireworks near a Brooklyn jungle gym where children were playing, and one little girl reportedly became hysterical in response, Shatavia asked that the fireworks be stopped out of concern over the safety of the children. She was shot at immediately after the confrontation, and then 3 days later, her assailant returned, shooting her 8 times. She died 10 days later in the hospital. These events bring to mind 1 Corinthians 16, verses 13 and 14. Be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong, do everything in love. So this evening, I put forth this light in memory of Shatavia's life and those who love and try to protect their communities. I put forth this light to illuminate a path for those whose lives are in need of divine intervention and better direction. And lastly, I put forth this light that we, God's people, may better focus our efforts to overcome brokenness and unjust systems that provoke fear, protest, and sometimes violent reaction. So I ask you, Lord, let us walk in your light, not in the darkness, in search of our better selves. Blessings, family.
Thank you, Denise. That was so beautiful and such a powerful word. There's really not much else to say other than that. You know, this event is a celebration of Indigenous people around the world and the cultural and fine arts. And so, you know, it's hard sometimes to move forth with our mission and our vision when we know so many people are suffering, you know. So I thank you so much in providing that information. Maybe people have not even heard the story before, but also providing such a meaningful perspective of what's going on in our world so that we can hopefully go home and meditate on it and become better and do better. So I thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you soon.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
My
peace and
pleasure.
blessings always,
Peace and
always.
blessings. Thank you again. It's been a privilege.
Absolutely for us as well. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
So everyone, that was my dear friend, Dr. Denise Brantley, and we are so blessed to have her, join us with such a powerful word. So, I do invite you guys to meditate on what she was saying. We do as a people, peoples, indigenous peoples, everyone, we have to, do better, think better, and try harder to make this world a place that we're all going to be proud of, and one that's going to nourish and feed and care for our future generations. Um, the next person I'm going to bring to the screen is going to be Mrs. Vickie Iregbulem. So um, while she's getting ready to come in, I'm going to read one more poem, and I am going to, okay, so I'm basically going to, just feeding off of what Dr. Brantley just said. I think a lot of times, well, first I have two more candles that I want to light, and I think that would be the best way to go before I go into the poem. And that is, I want to light a candle for Mr. Ricky McCargo. He was a resident of Hempstead. He's a Hempstead, and he was also murdered by undercover cops. He was shot in his left eye. So Ricky meant a lot for me. So here's my candle, it's lit. Ricky meant a lot to me. So he was a mentor. So my uncle had his incident with police in the 60s. Both men did not know each other. My uncle was much older than Ricky. He lived in a different state. And so at 14, Ricky McCargo and Tracy McCargo were fashion designers. They graduated from C.W. Post University. They were high school sweethearts that married, and they were on their way to having their first child when Ricky was approached by police officers that were in the vicinity, I guess, trying to, they were supposed to be there to maintain peace. And whatever happened, they wound up shooting Ricky in his left eye and killing him. And there was no crime committed on Ricky's part. I think Nassau County awarded the family like $3 million, but no amount of money can bring your loved one back. And witnesses say that he was down on his knees with his hands up saying, "Please don't shoot." And when he was shot. So the interesting thing about Ricky McCargo and why I feel it's like the universe telling me is my duty to kind of always tell their stories, because both men meant so much to me. I was 14 when Ricky took me under his wing, and he and his wife, they taught me how to model. They mentored me. I miss them both dearly. Tracy and I, and Ricky, we were so close that when Ricky passed away, it was like Tracy and I couldn't even look at each other or speak to each other, because that person, that glue that stood, that held us all together was no longer there. But the reason why these two stories are so prominent, and why I, as a person, have to come forward, not only because did I know the two men personally, they were, my uncle was the dearest man, and Ricky was my mentor. But the interesting thing that happened was my uncle's story. Of course, I was a baby when it happened. And so I just knew what my family had told me about the incident. When Ricky, my mentor, passed away, somebody at Newsday decided to reach back and grab my uncle's story, not knowing the connection was me, not knowing that there was any kind of connection between the two men. And they ran the stories back to back in Newsday in the same edition. So Ricky's story was on this page to tell about what happened. And then my uncle's story was on the other page. And when I read my uncle's story, every word that my family had told me as a youngster was printed for me. So I knew it was the absolute truth about what happened to my uncle. And you know. And so that right then and there, the universe basically started talking to me and saying, you know, to absolutely tell their side of the story whenever I had a chance, because a lot of people draw certain conclusions about victims of police brutality, but it's important that, you know, we do not let the memories of our loved ones get buried under any kind of political or any kind of, we speak up for our loved ones, to tell people that they meant something and that they were good people, and how much we still miss them and how much it still hurts. And I do apologize for getting emotional, but this is real talk right now. And I am the CEO of the World Alliance, and I come forth with this truth. And I come forth with, you know, letting the families know that my family knows exactly what they feel. The other reason why the universe is talking to me and letting me know that this is a topic that I cannot, you know, I have to speak up and tell my truth about is, believe it or not, even Trayvon Martin. I want to light this candle for Trayvon Martin, and these are my 3 candles for today. And the reason why I have to include Trayvon Martin is because Trayvon Martin and I both share the same birthday, February 5th. And so when I read this poem today, if I can get it out, because it's an emotional topic for me, I read it because I think about how my uncle made it to 35. Vickie was in his 20s, a young aspiring fashion designer, just went to mass production with their clothing line when he was killed. A new baby was almost here. That, you know, the baby didn't make it here into this life. This is the real talk that people don't talk about. It doesn't just affect the victims, it affects us. And so when I think about Trayvon Martin, and I really pray for his mom and his father and his family, because I know what they're dealing with. I think about young people don't even get to really know who they are at the age that he passed away. And so did he ever really in this lifetime understand the king that he was, understand where he was going in life? Did he even get a choice to choose his direction yet when his life was taken from him? So in this, I pray that all young men and women of brown and black, men and women, indigenous people around the world, they get to choose who they want to be in life. They get to be that person, aspire to be that person, and work towards that person. And so you know, that is my prayer for them. And so I dedicate this poem, Thomas, to them. And it's another poem from my book. And it starts, I neither know why I am or if I am. If bees are buzzing messengers of spring, and Abraham, the father of promise, then I am a thirsty little copper boy, snatched from his mother's bosom, stolen from a bed of dirt and dried grass. I neither know when I am or if I happen. If faith can carry a people through a raging storm in a wooden ship with no windows, then I'll burn under the weight of my garments stitched together by crooked fingers that scratch my skin like hot sand. I know not where I come from. Is it thought or place? If it is a place, then let me soak my feet in mud until I become earth, and cherry trees and lilacs spring from me. If it is thought, then think me until my origins caress your temples. I know not my end, were death to be my end. If time can be measured by beads on a rosary bead, what mystery would hold the beads of my life now? If I rise from dust into the shadows in which I live, what shadows would my light cast? A kangaroo or an elephant lifting its trunk to praise Yah? How would I know I am if I do not know I am is in me? Thanks, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed that poem. I'm sorry for getting emotional. It's an emotional subject. So right now I have Miss Vickie Lee Iregbulem with us. She's a singer and a member of my ensemble, the Book of Ruth. So she helps me organize and assist me with a lot of the concerts that we host for in honor of Native American Heritage Month or Black History Month, or just any celebration that we can come and put together as a people. Vickie and I are going to do it. So you can count on the Book of Ruth for that. Hi, Vickie. How are you today?
Hi, Sadanyah. I am so excited. This has been absolutely wonderful. The talent that you have put together and putting this program online, I am so proud of you. I thank you. I thank Akebu and Long Talker for being the technical and prayer assistance to bring this festival online.
Thank you so much. And so before we get started, because we're gonna open her set in a special kind of way. Vickie and I are often, like I said, organizers of concerts and stuff. And so we've been, I don't know, putting our heads together down in the fellowship hall, practicing our music and our songs. So it seems only right that we would do a piece for you together. But before I do that, I just want to tell you a little bit more about Vickie, if she'll allow me to do so. Vickie Lee Iregbulem is a retired nurse and a mother of 3. She was actually honored the year before last for her taking the initiative to contact the Suffolk County Police Department to share her concerns regarding their ability to handle special needs individuals of color. Her heartfelt letter prompted Suffolk County Police Department to implement more training for their officers so that they can just be better equipped and prepared to serve their extremely diverse community. Today, we invite Vickie Lee to light a candle on behalf of an ancestor before she takes the stage to sing. So I don't know if you want to light that candle first, and then we'll do our piece.
Yes, that would be fine. And also, I wanted to introduce my son, Bentley, who's assisting me today.
Hi, Bentley. How are you?
Good for you.
Yes. It was with Bentley in mind, right? That Vickie contacted the Suffolk County Police Department. So I do have to give Suffolk County Police Department kudos and props because they did not ignore her letter. They read it and they responded to it, and actually not only responded to it, but they brought about change, to make the community better. So I definitely want to thank that police department for actually listening to Vickie and taking the concerns of the community serious. So thank you, Suffolk County Police, for all that you have done and for your officers that are out there serving and putting their lives on the line. With that said, if you don't mind me telling everyone, Vickie's son Bentley is autistic, right? But he is, I shouldn't say, but a lot of autistic people are they're geniuses. They're very smart, and so it's kind of for me it's kind of, I don't know, kind of strange because you see their brilliance, right? But you do have to worry because of the simple fact there is that emotional side that they have to deal with. And so congratulations on your letter to the police department, and congratulations on to raising of 3 fine children, one of them being Bentley.
Thank you so much. It's a blessing.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah. So who's your candle for today?
Well, I am lighting a candle for Tamir Rice. Tamir was a 12-year-old child in Ohio who was playing in a park with a toy gun, and someone called the police and said that there was someone playing with a gun, and they didn't know whether it was a toy gun or not. This was a child. So the police officers, when they came, 2 seconds after they pulled up, they didn't even stop the car. They came out blasting, and Tamir was killed within 2 seconds. So people were outraged, of course, and they had a jury trial, but the grand jury did not indict the officer, whose name is Timothy Loman, because he said, "I was afraid for my life." And so he now walks free while an innocent child is now gone. So I light this candle in remembrance of Tamir Rice and also his family, and to all the victims of police violence and shootings. This has got to stop. And I pray that all of our communities will get together to stop this injustice from happening. Thank you.
So do you want to announce the song, or do you want me
Yeah.
to? Yes.
Okay. The song that Sadanyah and I are going to do, I have to give props to a young man named Lanier Mason. He was in charge of the youth program at our church, and he introduced this song to us. And when I heard it, I remember turning around to Sadanyah, and I was stunned, because this song is so spot on, explaining what's going on in the world today. And I am honored to bring this song to you and to have Sadanyah do the spoken word part. And together we are, it's called "The Lord is Coming."
By her.
By, yes. The artist, she co-wrote it with 2 other people. Her name is Gabriella Wilson, but most people know her as Her. And HER stands for Having Everything Revealed. And so this song was actually written in 2016, but I heard about it a year ago, and it is very powerful. And I thank her so much for exposing that song to us, because it's amazing.